Hi friends, I'm Elizabeth and this is my company Wellfed Market. It's a mobile food sharing platform aimed to reduce food waste and connect communities through food. Think of this as the Facebook marketplace for free food. So I'm the youngest of four, so I often was left to do my own thing. I was conditioned to approach my parents with my solutions rather than with my problems. And my grandmother, my Nana, loved this. She loved listening to my crazy solutions. She was very creative herself. She survived the Great Depression by creating a food sharing system within her neighborhood. And years later, whenever I visited, she would always have locals just in her kitchen that she was feeding. So sharing and food just really meant a lot to my Nana. And she often used food related metaphors to share her points. And so truthfully, she made me feel like I was going to change the world. In January of 2020, my Nana passed away. And because I lost her perspective, I began to think that my ideas were just not that great. I spent quarantine just reconnecting with her through her recipes. And during the pandemic, I began to think, how can I embody that connection food brings digitally, just as my Nana so frequently did with herself and with my community? And that's when I came up with the idea for Wellfed Market. Because school was online, I spent my entire freshman year alone just dreaming about this app. I was a little too insecure to turn it into reality. But after I started my first semester of in-person college this last fall, I was shocked to see that what I had been envisioning for WellFed was actually being done by my peers at my university. At Georgetown, there's an exclusive group chat called the Free Food on Campus GroupMe. And so students here would post like events with surplus food or excess food from dorms and dining halls, and even asking students for ingredients. So I was so excited to see this all happening, and I wanted to learn more about this group. So ultimately, I conducted a survey and I studied them last fall, and I learned that this system is reliable and trusted by the Georgetown community. At its peak this past year, over 50% of Georgetown's undergraduate population was in this group chat. So this really just confirmed my insight that digital food sharing is a realistic solution to reduce both hunger and food waste. As I sat with this idea for a year and a half, I saw the opportunity to turn the group chat into Wellfed Market. I received a lot of criticism. A lot of industry professionals don't really think this is going to work. They think no one wants someone else's leftovers. But I decided to pursue this app and just see where it takes me. I released the beta version during this incubator on June 6th, and I've shared it with Georgetown students, DC farms, food organizations across the DC area. Coming into this incubator, I had three main goals. The first was to release this beta version and receive feedback. Through hundreds of emails and one-on-one Zoom calls with my users, I've added new features to make my food sharing system more tangible than a group chat system would have provided. I also have added multiple streams of revenue that will continue to allow me to scale. My second goal was to develop a team of trusted advisors and mentors. I'm a collegiate athlete on the ultimate team sport that is rowing, and so I know that working together is critical for success. So if what I'm sharing resonates with you, I would love to get connected. And then lastly, my third goal was to figure out how to scale my app from the Georgetown bubble into the DMV. And so similar to Amazon lockers, I'm exploring the possibility of centralizing my system through refrigerated lockers. So as I work to raise $4,000 to implement this type of locker system, I'm solidifying my proof of concept with the Georgetown Office of Sustainability, and they're helping me craft up my MVP. So what this SLI program provided me was much bigger than the goals I anticipated. I needed confidence, and realistically, I think I found that here. From my mentor, Lane, I learned that being an entrepreneur is lonely and that I needed to find my community. This month, I spent over 60 hours a week at the WeWork on Mass Ave working on this company. I'm a natural introvert, so I forced myself into this community to be vulnerable and to grow. And so I'm so thankful for Lisa's advice. From Lane, my other mentor, I learned the story behind Airbnb, and I learned that sometimes good ideas start off as polarizing. I have 4,000 undergraduate students at Georgetown that believe in this idea. I know that 40% of food is wasted in the United States, and 33% of DC residents are food insecure. So my consumer understands my vision, and that's what's really validating and exciting for me. And lastly, throughout this entire month, In the back of my head, I've been telling myself, Elizabeth, it's going to work, because that was my Nana's catchphrase for me. It was a great reminder as I faced a lot of rejection. And when things did get overwhelming, I started reaching out and asking for advice. And that's something that I don't really typically do. But I realized if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And I don't like no's. So I asked a lot this month, and I'm very thankful that I did. So this month I achieved the goals I set out to do, but most importantly, I have grown as a more confident developer. And I'd like to give the biggest thank you to both Ben and Amy, my mentors, Lane and Lisa, and this amazing cohort. I am so very grateful for the opportunity to connect people with food, just as my Nana did. So thank you all so much.
You are awesome. And oh, I'm still muted. No, I'm not. I've just been so amazed at your development and your steadfast focus on your particular vision. It's so strong, and to be honest with you, that's probably one of the most important indicators of success. So I can't wait to see how this grows and develops. Thank you. So Lane and Lisa, who's commenting?
I will comment, Amy.
Thanks, Lane.
First of all, I just, before I say anything about that presentation, I just want to say that all of the presentations today have been absolutely extraordinarily good, and I'm just blown away. So congratulations to all of you for just making this very short sprint of an SLI incredibly productive and obviously successful. So congratulations to you and to the program runners, Amy and Ben, and all the mentors. As for Elizabeth, I am so fortunate that I was paired with her, and I know that Lisa Freelander feels the same way. And Lisa we were very lucky to have her because she has legal expertise that she lent not just to this particular mentorship, but also to the cohort at large. So I'm fortunate to have her with us. Elizabeth is a rare person who I would just say, get out of her way. She is humble, and yet at the same time, she is going to move mountains. I have absolutely no doubt. I love that she questions what advice she's being given, but not just pushes back with no reason, goes out and says, I'm going to find out what my customers like. And then if I have a groundswell of customers who are saying that they believe in it, says, I think this is going to work. You have to have that attitude in order to make it as an entrepreneur, because you will hear no so many times, and you will come across so many doubters. And so I think that you have this core strength in you, Elizabeth, that is going to take you a very long way as a founder. I love that you are so passionate from two angles. One is food accessibility. Food security is a huge issue right now. And while this isn't exactly food security, it is food accessibility, and it's reducing food waste. And all of these issues surrounding food are very near and dear to my heart as well. So it's nice to see an entrepreneur like you entering into this space. And the other thing that's so extraordinary is the personal association you have because of your Nana, and the way that you are so kindly remembering her legacy. And that will fuel you in times that are difficult, because you're doing this for a very personal reason, as well as a practical reason and a social impact reason. So all in all, I just want to say congratulations. It has been such a pleasure, and I look forward to continuing to work with you, hopefully long after SLI is over. Thank you.
Thanks, Lane.
Thanks, Lane. And thanks for running this program before too, and your kind words for this amazing cohort.